What's up, everybody? This is RavenSky Organic Kitchen Living, and I'm doing the part 2 of the grow tower build out. And today I went to Home Depot and I got a 4x4, and I actually got a 10-foot 4x4, and I had it cut in half. And I'm not going to build it as high as I had originally intended it to be. It was supposed to be, you know, like a 7-foot type of tower, but I decided not to do that because once this gets lifted up off the ground another 6 inches down here, I'll show you this later, but basically the grow tower, the PVC piping is going to come right down here, and then it's going to elbow this way, so it's actually going to be about 6 inches off the ground here. So then the piping is going to run up this way. So this only to right here would actually be 4.5 feet if I take 6 inches off the bottom. But since I'm going to glue the PVC, it'll actually end up sitting up, you know, roughly about here. So it'll be about 6 foot, and I think that's good enough for doing a test, grow tower. And also, my sister's kind of short, so it'll be easier for us. It'll be easy for us to move around and navigate when we need to move it, when we need to move it. So we'll the finished grow towers that we're going to put out that direction when we start doing the build out, after this is all tested positive for everything. Then that's going to be full size. Those are going to be built full size. So for now, we're just going to use a 5-foot 4x4, and what I did is I pre-cut the legs for this, and these are 18 inches, and really I just cut a 2x6 in half. I was gonna get 2x4s, but I had some extra stuff laying around here, and I was trying to be a little more thrifty rather than going and buying more wood. So what I did is I just cut the 2x6 in half and made this 18 inches, and essentially I'm going to put these right down there, and these are going to be the feet that will hold up this 4x4. So you can see this should be enough of a platform to secure everything. I think I'm doing that right. So one's supposed to go on each side. So this is supposed to go here, like that. And then that will go here, and then the last one will go right here, like this. And I'm going to save you the time of, you know, screwing all this in and whatnot. But I've done this before actually with another project, and the best thing you want to do is to get your drill and do some pre-drills with the little drill bit, and put like 4, 1, 2. Here we go, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and that will secure this in. And do it on all 4 sides, but you want to pre-drill it and then put your screws in, because the screws have a hard time going through this and then into a 2x4. So you've got to have a really strong drill in order to impact it all the way through the 4x4. So it's better to pre-drill it right here, and then this is essentially what the platform is going to look like. And the reason why I've got this, this is a concrete slab. Actually, it's a, what do they call these? Slabs? Okay, so it's a concrete slab, and it's made for, like, you know, steps, like out in your garden or in your backyard or something. And I just put this here, so because the floor is a little bit uneven, so I just put this here, and so that way it's level, and all this will sit really level when I'm actually putting the screws in. So that's the second part of what I'm getting ready to do, and from up top it kind of looks like this. And then once I get these screwed in, then we'll come back and do a second video and show you the rest of the build out. All right, guys, see ya. All right, so I got the 4 screws put in here on all 4 sides. And keep in mind, I I had to switch, I had to turn these over. When I cut these, I didn't cut them perfectly straight. So I'd recommend when you put these together that the outer edge, this is the, see how this is beveled here or kind of rounded off? That's actually the edge of the original piece of wood. So it's going to be a lot more straighter than if you are cutting it yourself with a skill saw. So I would take this and I would flip it around so this part lays on the ground, and that way on all four sides. So I did it here and I did it over here, but not these two, because these kind of laid out pretty straight, so that was okay. But you may want to keep in mind that when you put these down that they're flush to the ground, and maybe the best way to do that also is by making sure you got the flattest edge or the straightest edge on there. So yeah, got all four of them done. You can see that. So basically it's freestanding at this point. So I will check back in on the next phase. All right, guys, so next on the list with the grow tower build out. First I'm going to explain it, and then I'll get all the pieces cut and everything, and then I'll show you kind of step by step how I'm doing it. So essentially, so there are some slight modifications in the way that I was going to design this. So this piece of wood here, I think it's just I don't even know what it's called. I'm not much of a construction connoisseur. So whatever that is, I'm not really sure. Anyways, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna measure from the bottom of this up to probably, I'm not sure if I'm gonna put it here, if I'm gonna put it here. But either way, I've got to get a hole. I've got to get a hole saw, I think, a hole saw. And I got to drill a hole either right here, or maybe just drill it right here. This probably is the best place for it. So really, this is only going to it's not going to give us that deep of a reservoir, and I'm not sure how long that's going to last for with all the plants. I'm thinking it should be enough water, but we may just do it here just to make it easy rather than doing it in these grooves. So we're going to measure from here all the way up to here, and then we're going to take that measurement and we're going to put it right here. So we're going to measure from the bottom of this here all the way up to the side to, I don't know however tall it is. So, and then we're going to take this board and we're essentially going to stick that board there. If I get this out of the way. So we're going to take this board and we're going to put it right here like this without the interference of the 5-gallon bucket. I think you get the idea. So we're basically going to make a level platform like this. Yeah, right about that level. And then I'm going to cut a little piece of this off here. I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to drill it onto here to give this a little platform to sit on. And then I'm going to use this board here, and I'm going to cut a piece roughly like that as a leg. So this will sit here, kind of, and then there will be a leg that kind of goes right here. So you'll get to see when it's done. So we want that to be parallel right with right here where we drill through the hole roughly. It needs to sit under this because the piping, actually, the down pipe, when it comes when the grow tower comes to here, it's going to 90 degree and sit on top of here. So we have to measure it according to where the pipe is going to sit. So it's actually going to be lower like this. So the pipe will sit there, and then so we have to get those measurements later when we start. I don't know, I've got to figure it out, but so yeah, that's the idea of what we're doing. So let me get to this and we'll check back. So what I've done is I've taken the tube, the 2-inch PVC, and I've turned the bucket over on its side, and I decided to put the PVC underneath this lip here, so you can see that. So basically I got it here, and then I used a Sharpie to draw a line around the PVC, and that's just to give me the proper height to measure from. So yeah, that's next on the list. So next, I measured from here all the way up to here, and used a Sharpie and a square. one of these things. You should probably get one of these, you're gonna need it. And then I measured this and drew a line right here with the Sharpie. So that's 9 inches, and that's even with this. That's also 9 inches. And make sure you're measuring from the same, the same level here. So what I did is I measured from the bottom of this and all the way up to here is 9 inches, and that's even with the mark that I put on the 5-gallon bucket. And then the next thing you have to do is you've got to measure. Well, what I did is I took this board and I put it here, right there at the 9-inch mark, like that. And then I took a permanent marker and drew a line underneath this board, underneath here, to give us this. So then we'll take this. So you can see I've already screwed up. I'm learning as I go. So then you take this little piece and you put it right there, like that. So that way, once this is screwed in, then this board will actually sit right here in place, and this top mark will actually be the 9 inches. So that's what you got to do next. All right, hey guys, I'm back again. So as you can see, what I did here is I've got the little brace that I put here on the 4x4, and this is I think it was, I can't remember what the measurements were. It was in the last video. So basically, the very top of this is flush right at it's actually just above 9 inches, like barely above 9 inches. And then if you measure over here, like right here, this is just at 9 inches and just under it slightly, which is fine because it actually gives. So let me show you something. When this pipe goes on here, you can see that this 90-degree elbow, or this elbow here, is actually got a little, like an 1/8 inch. Was that an 1/8 inch? Oh, something like that. Something about an 1/8 inch gap. So that's actually going to make it sit up. Actually going to make the water flow from uphill and downhill just a tad. And because this is just above 9 inches and this is just below 9 inches, but barely, like a 1/16 maybe, yeah, so it's getting a little bit of an added slope to it, and that will help the water move down the reservoir pipe. So so what I did also is I cut a little stabilization arm here. See this? It's not exactly perfect, is it? I need to screw that down just a little bit more because I'm kind of cockeyed, a little off. But anyways, so you get the idea. So I put this here, and then I also put this little brace on it and drilled it into this piece, just to give it a little bit more. So if for some reason I kick this or whatever, it doesn't like snap it off. So that's the little shelf that this is going to sit on. So this will end up sitting just like this. That's how it's going to look, roughly. And I don't have the hole saw for this yet. I mean, I gotta go buy a 2-inch hole saw for this. I'm gonna pop that hole saw right in there, and then that'll be the next on the list. Right, Home Depot's closed, so I can't go do that right now. So this is all for now. Maybe we'll try doing some more tomorrow. All right, guys, see you. So I went ahead and used zip ties to put the PVC reservoir to strap it. Strapped it to this here, this little base, and this should hold it tight for a while. I actually had some 2-inch metal straps that I used for electrical, but they didn't fit, so I opted for the zip ties, and I'll probably have to put more because it's not super secure, but it'll work. So the next thing I'm doing here is I got this, I'm not sure exactly what it's called. It's a little, it's a cap basically that goes on, here's the model number. It's a cap that actually goes on the end of the 2-inch pipe like this. So we're gonna use this, face this thing up, and once you pop this in, it's a little tough to get out, so just keep that in mind. So I also went and bought, I couldn't find the piece of equipment that I needed, so I went and bought this little, and I don't even know what these are called. I'm not much of a construction person, but I know how stuff gets, I know how to use stuff, but that's about it. So I went and basically got this little tool set here, and I'm going to use this piece. This is a 5/8 hole driller, I guess. It's a 5/8. This one right there, that should be the right size. So I'm essentially going to take this and I'm going to drill a hole right here. And once that is drilled in there, should be the right fit for the irrigation hose that I'm using. I think it's also a 5/8, and I will get into more of that later. If I can maybe set this down real quick. So you're kind of looking at this little auger thing here. It's about the right size, roughly. You see that? It's about the right size. So I bought a bunch of these because they're like 40 cents, because I figured I was gonna mess up a couple times. So just in case I mess up with this, if this is too big or something, then what I'll do is I'll use a smaller size like this. I'll use the 1/2" one. I'll use this size, and then I'll probably just use one of these little drill bits to kind of go around it and open it up just a little bit, because what I'm trying to do is to fit this into here like that. I couldn't find, there's rubber gaskets that you can get, and I just don't know where to get them from, and I don't know what they're called, but I know there's a rubber gasket that would actually fit right in there, and this would pop right in, into it. So I'm gonna try to skip doing that because I couldn't find them, and I'm trying to get this done as soon as possible. So I think this will probably work. So this will pop right in there like this, and this will actually be about maybe 12 inches or so, and this is going to come out here, and then this part will actually go into the 5-gallon bucket. So the little auger that I used was the 5/8, was just a little small. So I went ahead and popped on one of the drill bits like this, and basically just kind of went around in circles like that, right in there. And it took me about 10 minutes just to do it to make it fit really snug. And I'll do some more modifications. This is really just to show you guys here, but essentially this pipe, irrigation pipe, is going to be about 12 inches long. So it'll be, I don't know, roughly that. So it'll come out to here. I just got to get the 5-gallon bucket, set it here, and then make a little mark right where I'm going to put the other hole, or the other auger hole, on the 5-gallon bucket. And it's a good chance I'm going to have to use the drill again in order to get the hole so it'll fit right. So this is so the water is going to flow down here. The water is going to flow down here into this pipe here, and then it'll actually exit out this into the 5-gallon bucket. And then once this piece that's going to be inside the bucket, I'm actually going to wrap a like a painter's net, or a paint filtration. What do they use those? When you filter paint, I don't remember what it's called. There's a little net you use and get them at Sherwin-Williams or even Home Depot, and it filters out paint. And you can use one of those to wrap on here, and that will catch any small debris that gets that gets trapped in here. Also, the other idea I had was to maybe use a terry cloth, and actually wrap a terry cloth around this, because it's a really fine mesh netting. Made out of cotton, I think, and that would actually filter out even the particulates. So that might be the route that we're going to go on that. So yeah, that's it for that part.